DreamHack Dallas was last weekend, and one of the highlights from it was the finals of the first half of the first OWCS season. If you didn't know, OWCS is the new, refreshed version of Overwatch League. Remember how a little while back people were making videos like RIP Overwatch League? Well, Overwatch League never really died. They just rebranded and went into new administration, partnering with FACEIT to make going pro more accessible. However, the question on my mind, and possibly a few others within the community, is how long will OWCS actually last? There's a lot of different things to take into account when talking about the popularity of OWCS and what's hindering it. And today I'm going to talk about exactly that. This isn't me doing something like a hit piece on OWCS, no, this is just me talking about how OWCS might not work out how Blizzard expected it to. I'll get into it in a minute, but first I'm going to ask you to subscribe and leave a like on this video, as I want to continue making Overwatch 2 related content that's not only entertaining, but educational too. Now, there's a lot of bad that I'm going to talk about in this video, so how about I open it with some good? As I said earlier, OWCS is partnered with FACEIT, which may be a familiar name if you're into other competitive games like Counter-Strike and PUBG. They're one of the biggest esports companies out there, and they make it very easy to get into the pro scene of many different games. I mean, for Overwatch, it's literally just a case of linking your FACEIT account to your Blizzard account and then signing up for a tournament with your team. Granted, you meet the requirements for the tournament. This is really cool because it means that with enough time and effort, average Joes can become the next Super or Funny Astro with ease. Even if they're not directly competing in the OWCS, they're competing in an Overwatch tournament held by the company that runs OWCS, which definitely gives them a leg up and a foot through the door. The only problem is that at the minute, OWCS is being handled not terribly, but definitely not in the best way possible. I'll cut them some slack, as this is still their first year of OWCS, so obviously they're still experimenting and figuring stuff out here and there, but at the minute, the entire thing just looks a little bit sloppy. Just watch this clip and you'll see what I mean, because it's just... like, it's the simplest of things. Here, just take a look.
No clue for this one. We're actually already...
Yo, what is Jake's prediction?
Some of your preds. So,
Yep. Any production at its finest. For real though, there was so many technical issues during, well, honestly this entire first half of the season. There were constant pauses for audio issues, connection issues, all that jazz. But then there's also been issues where the stream would just straight up freeze and go to worse image quality than my videos, which is how you know something with the production is scuffed. I don't understand how they can have this huge rebrand and have more issues than the last season of Overwatch League. At least that was excusable because it was last season and shit had already hit the fan, so might as well go out with a bang. If you're investing in something new, go big or go home, but they've made it abundantly clear that they're not going big, considering we got an OWCS Hanzo skin that partially funds the event. Don't even get me started on this skin because it's just... look at it. What the hell were they thinking when they made this? He looks like Jesse after he fell in the blue.
What is wrong with you? Why are you blue?
Don't get me wrong, I think it's cool that they're doing a fundraiser skin, but when it's for something that Blizzard should be investing in as a company instead of asking their community to pay for their shoddy production like a kid asking their mum for pocket money, that's when it starts to piss me off. The Pink Mercy skin, being a fundraiser, was perfectly fine because it was going towards a good cause, but this isn't a good cause. This isn't the first time they've done it either. There was the Sojourn skin during the Overwatch World Cup, which was miles better than the Hanzo one because at the time, she didn't have many skins. So this was a cool new offering that in turn helped fund the Overwatch World Cup. It's just like a little cherry on top of the cake. I just think if they had given the skin to a newer hero with barely any skins, like cough cough Venture, or cough cough Ramattra, rather than a hero who gets buffed and nerfed out the absolute wazoo because they physically cannot balance him, people would have actually cared about it and bought it. The last thing I want to talk about is the viewership, because it's a bit all over the place really. It's difficult to know an actual number of viewers that are genuinely interested in OWCS for the competition itself, because viewership has been heavily inflated thanks to drops. Obviously, I'm not complaining about it. Free stuff is always nice, and with more viewership comes more money for Blizzard to pump back into OWCS and the game itself. But without drops, viewership absolutely plummets, just like it does with actual streamers, which means OWCS makes less money and in turn risks going back on the chopping block because Blizzard just needs so much more money, guys. Trust me, Blizzard is so poor and needs at least another $1 billion or so that they'll use for absolutely nothing except from just toilet paper, I guess. But that just about does it for this video. Now, how long do I think OWCS has left before it gets scrapped? Honestly, I don't know. I can't exactly put a time frame on it, but I think if next year's season doesn't do well in terms of viewership, yada yada yada, all that jazz, it'll probably go for good. There's just not the same interest in Pro Overwatch as there was in the earlier years of the game. It's cool and all, but the novelty's just worn off. It's just like general TV shows. There's only so much you can do before it gets boring and repetitive. And unfortunately with Overwatch, it is fairly boring and repetitive, especially in the current meta. I love playing the same 3 heroes again. It's so exhilarating, guys. I just love it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like this video as it lets me know that you find these videos not only to be helpful, but entertaining. Let me know what you think about OWCS in the comments. Do you think it's good and want it to continue, or do you just want it to be scrapped completely? Finally, have a nice day or night if you're watching this at night, and make sure to check out my other videos. Not only will I appreciate it, but you might too.